People lied about me, and I don't even know where the lies come from, just because they're jealous because God's blessed me and God's opened the door. If I look at what people said, I'll never be able to go forward. If I looked at the failures, if I looked at people fail, preachers fail, people stumble and fall. If I looked at that, and I never looked ahead, then I would not have opportunities that's already opening up at the beginning of this year for me. I have to look ahead. I'm looking forward to what God has for me. You know, the statement is like this: what God has for me is for me. Can you do that tonight? Won't you just say it by faith? What God has for me is for me. Come on, say it one more time. What God has for me is for me. Listen, I want to encourage you. I don't know where all we're going. I don't know how long we'll be in one place or another, but I'm trusting Jesus. This is a new year. This is a new day. Set your affection on the Lord. Set your affection on heaven. Amen. Amen. Don't be looking at the past. It's time to look ahead to the future that God has with your name on it. And I want to tell you right now, He's got a blessing for you. He's got love for you. He's got joy. He's got rescue. He's got restoration. He's got victory. And my friend, let me encourage you right now. It's a new day, a new hour, a new season. And don't you dare let the devil push you around. We have victory in Jesus. God bless you is my prayer for each and every one of you.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Birch Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Birch is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Hello folks, this is Robert again from your Sears Hometown Store. If you're having trouble tossing and turning in bed, or having a backache, or your partner wakes you up when they come to bed, we can solve your problem with our Sealy Posturepedic mattresses or other name brand mattresses at your Sears Hometown Store. So come on down to your Sears Hometown Store and get some rest for your eyeballs with one of our Sealy or other fine mattresses.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joey Horton at the world's famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see us.
First dates, fun with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands. Because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pasta, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Hello, welcome to WLAF Channel 12, as well as you'll be listening to us on the internet here shortly. Of course, we're wrapping up the Campbell County Cougar basketball game. For our executive producer, Miss Honeybee, my name is Les Martin.
And I'm Brent Allen.
We thank you and we welcome you, and we hope you enjoy this hour of sports talk, as it's been a while.
It has. We may be a little rusty.
Yeah, just a little bit. But not bad.
Yeah, nah. Like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you fall off, you get back on, and you ride it again. And we'll probably fall off a couple of times this hour.
Yeah,
but that's
okay. Knees, nothing major.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we certainly hope that you enjoy this hour of what we've got to talk about. And we'll be back on the air every Tuesday following everything going good like it's supposed to. We'll be back on the air every Tuesday. So at 9 o'clock right here on WLAF Channel 12. And I kind of enjoyed the break.
It was a nice break.
Yeah, it was. You kind of get into situations where you kind of get burnt out just a little bit. And
But after the break, I was kind of missing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back.
I was missing it as well. And what did you think about Tennessee Volunteers beating up on Northwestern 45-6?
What do you think I thought?
Well, you're an offensive type guy.
Well, I really, really was impressed. I was a little concerned at first. I thought I thought the game started off kind of slow. I think we exchanged punts the first couple of series there, and just didn't seem to have a lot going. And honestly, I was surprised that it seemed to me throughout the game, the Tennessee team seemed to gain momentum and gain strength. And in general, when you're playing those top teams, Northwestern, all those teams, Oklahoma, teams out west, and I guess Northwestern's around Chicago. Is that correct?
Yes, up in Illinois.
Right. So anyway, a lot of those teams like that tend to be big, strong, not necessarily fast, and they talked about the speed difference and all that. But to be honest, I think that we not only had the speed, we had the power as well.
Jalen Hurd mentioned in his comment or his interview after the fact that he said that any time that we get into the locker room or get into the weight room and we do our conditioning, he said it's so difficult that there was no doubt, and I'm not saying word for word exactly what he said because I don't remember exactly, but he pretty much said that he did not think that Northwestern would last through the whole ball game like the University of Tennessee Volunteers would as far as their endurance.
Yeah, he did say that, and I don't know if you watched the entire game. Did you see the interview with John Gruden in the beginning?
I did.
Gruden was talking about, and he really impressed me with his Tennessee shirt, and he was definitely a Vols fan that day for sure. And he talked about Jalen Hurd needed to work on a couple of things like his stiff arm. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
If you saw the stiff arm, folks,
The stiff arm was huge. It was awesome.
That guy's 6'2", I think 201. He absolutely planted him. He just blew him right out of the water, then ran over a couple more. Hurd really seemed to get, again, stronger as the game went on. Of course, I guess the other team was getting a little tired. Either way, the bottom line is it worked out well in our favor. And I love 45-6. I was never, once by halftime, I was no longer worried. I could breathe after halftime. But I would have been happy with 90-6. So
yeah, well, we hadn't had a chance to talk about Tennessee throughout the season, but simply because we wasn't on.
Right.
But what did you think about Tennessee losing their first, couple of games, and it looked like it was at one point they was like 3-4 or something like that.
I was concerned.
Yeah.
And mainly because I didn't think that we would I didn't think that we'd pull out some of the games like Georgia, even South Carolina. I think I was a little concerned about. As the season went on, I started getting a little more confidence, but honestly, right up until the end, even the Vandy game, I was a little nervous. I really wanted them to get that 5-game winning streak and get a good bowl.
Right.
And my biggest reason or worry was that we would lose recruits if we had a poor showing throughout the rest of the season, and it still seemed to hurt us. We lost a couple of commitments, and I don't know if that had something to do with it or what their situation is. I do know this, that a lot of the selling points that Butch Jones has had, which is playing early,
right?
And a lot of these kids, they want to come out and play right out of high school, and he's been able to offer that. Now he's got a couple of top 5 recruiting classes under his belt. He can tell these kids that, but these other coaches are saying, come on. The other coaches are telling these kids, look, you go to Tennessee, he may tell you you're going to play, but he recruited this guy in your position last year. The year before that, he recruited this guy. They were both top 5 guys. What do you think? So it definitely put a little bit of a hurting on our recruiting. I'm not sure where we stand now. Did you say around 20?
Yeah, we're about 20th is where we're at. And here's the thing. You can't have back, and well, I say you can't.
Yeah, Alabama can.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly where I was going. Nick Saban has a top 5 recruiting class.
Sure.
Every year. Every year.
Yeah.
And basically what he's doing, and Butch Jones does the same thing, it's possible that he could have the same results.
Absolutely, I think that's his goal. I think that a lot of the things that he does really comes from the Nick Saban. I mean, a lot of these coaches in college right now, a lot of them are using. They've either worked under Nick Saban or they've worked with someone who's been with Nick Saban, and the system works.
Right.
I mean, it's that simple. If you can get the best players on the field, and it's kind of common. I mean, it's an obvious thing to say, but and it's not always the case. But if you have the best players on the field, you have a much higher chance of winning. Again, if they're not playing well together and your scheme's not right, of course it could go the wrong way. But I think Alabama has shown it. Nick Saban's done a great job and continues to do a great job. I wish he'd leave, but I don't see that happening either.
Yeah.
He recently said that he can't imagine coaching anywhere else. He wants to stay at Alabama until he's done.
And some of these kids that we've lost, those couple of guys that we've lost, I'm not so for sure that Butch Jones didn't call them up and say, hey guys, you know what? I'm sorry, but we don't have any position or we don't have a place for you on this team.
Yeah, I know for a fact that they actually withdrew the scholarship on one of them. He was a 3-star, I think a 3-star running back maybe. Didn't have a lot of the numbers that they look for at the SEC level. What they did was, in my opinion, was they offered him a scholarship because he's clearly got enough talent to be okay, but he was kind of a backup. And when they got somebody else, a better looking prospect, and that's ugly. And even the guy, I can't remember his name, but he even tweeted something along the lines of, this is a business, and I understand, it's a numbers game, and he took it with class. Now, I don't know what he really thinks, but he did a good thing on social media, anyways.
Right.
And I think at least 2 more of them, probably behind the scenes, I agree with you. They probably said, hey, I'm just going to be honest with you, you're probably not going to make the cut here. You might want to start looking at some other teams. And if that's the case, it makes me think that we may have some guys. What's the card game that Texas Hold'em? What's that card that's like the one in the hole? I think Coach Jones probably has a couple of guys in the hole.
Ace in the hole.
Right, ace in the hole, waiting for the right time and to make a big splash.
But, and I agree with that. I feel the same thing. I really do, because he's pulled out, and I don't think we're going to finish 20th, just to be
No, I doubt we'll be in the top 5 either, but I wouldn't be surprised if we make it into the top 15, top 10.
I was thinking more along the line of the top 10. If he can get a couple of these guys that he's got his mind set on and his eyes on, I think that we can finish within the top 10. I would need a couple more 5-star, 4-stars to put us in that position.
Well, here's one of the problems, though. He's had to recruit. I mean, these past recruiting classes, he's gotten a lot of these 4- and 5-star guys. What's the word I'm looking for? These skill players, basically. And it's tough. It's tough to find offensive linemen with 5 stars. They just don't give out many 5 stars to an offensive lineman.
Correct.
It's not a glamorous position, and it's tougher to find those guys. I mean, a 3-star offensive lineman is a really good offensive lineman.
Sure.
4-star is crazy good. So that could have something to do with it as well. And the stars are basically what drives the ranking system.
Correct.
And if you've got the most 5 stars over here, then they're going to have the higher end.
Alabama always get their fair share of 5- and 4-star players, but they get more 4- and 5-star players than they do 3-stars.
Oh yeah.
And I understand that. But you know what? Give me a 3-star that's coachable.
Oh yeah.
You give me a 3-star that's coachable, and I'll take him over a 5-star that's got some baggage any day.
Oh, absolutely. And we've talked about this, heck, a couple of years ago. We talked about the fact that a lot of these guys, they get that 5th star, and suddenly they're a prima donna.
Right.
Suddenly they want special treatment. And generally, those guys if they've got a 5-star rating, they've been really good for a really long time. Even in Little League, middle school, these kids are head and shoulders above their peers. So they're getting a lot of things handed to them that other kids don't, that the other kids have to work for. So when you hit that level, it's often, we've seen a lot of busts, a lot of 5-stars that didn't do well, and a lot of 3-stars that turned into best player on the field. So, and I think Northwestern's coach during that game pointed out that he was a 2-star, I think he said, and he ended up being all conference and so forth. I mean, they took a chance on him. Fitzgerald took a chance on him, and he turned into an all-conference linebacker. So that kind of thing happens. I think that they're playing they're hedging their bets. That's obviously the smartest way to go. Go with the best athlete that grades out the way you want them to, and hope that they have the right attitude.
Well, and you brought up a good point. A two-star Fitzgerald, Coach Fitzgerald was all conference, and I get that. But a perfect example of someone that's a bust, or someone that's a prima donna, like you said, a 5-star that's a prima donna, is a lot like the guy that played for Carnes this year when he come up and played Campbell County, and
Very good.
I cannot remember his name.
I can't either, but we were really excited.
We were floored at how his performance.
Prior to the game, we were excited to see what kind of things he could do, and he had a couple of flashes. He had a couple of flashes that showed his athleticism, but overall, I would much rather have had a kid that wanted to win the game. He really seemed like he could care less if they won or not. Like I said, occasionally they'd throw him the ball and he'd just go up and get it like it was nothing. It was easy pickings for him. But when it comes to him blocking, doing his job, he absolutely did nothing.
Oh no, I agree with that 100%.
And that's purely attitude. I mean, the guys, he knows, and of course we talked about this during the game. I think that he could very well be trying to, save his body, because he was going to, where was he going to?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, that's right. He was committed to Oklahoma State. Regardless if they win or lose, he's going to Oklahoma State.
Right.
So it's possible that he was just saving his body and trying to keep from doing anything that might get him hurt. I understand that, but it's tough. And one of my thoughts about that is, even if you are trying to save your body, if I'm a coach looking at a player, I want that player that gives it all, that wants to win, that has that winning edge. You look back at Jadeveon Clowney his last year, he really just took it easy and was trying his best to
He's
skate
like
through.
semi-retired.
Right, and well, guess what? Look what he's doing now.
Nothing.
Injury reserve.
He's a big bust.
Right, he is, and he definitely had the physical attributes. He had everything going for him.
Right.
But just not the right mindset.
Devin Harper.
That's it.
Devin Harper. I Googled him because I had to cheat, folks. Just to be perfectly honest with you, I had to cheat. You would think that you and I would remember things like that, but age comes into play with the memory.
It does.
So,
And, we look back and I can remember a few. Mobley, Deshaun Mobley.
Deshaun Mobley.
He played hard. He really brought it. Cody Blank, who's not done much at UT, but he was certainly head and shoulders above the rest of the players on the field when we saw him play anyway.
Right.
And we've seen a few of those guys, and this cat is definitely the one that was the most unimpressive on the field. Again, I don't know if he was sandbagging or if he's just that way.
Speaking of some Tennessee commit that didn't make it, and I knew that he wouldn't make it, I just had that feeling, and that was Jock Bruce from South Doyle.
What happened to him?
That guy, he just had some things that was happening that he just needed to get taken care of. They blue, what they call a blue shirt. They blue shirted him. He got to go play, but he was just released. He said he figured.
Was it a school issue or a
I don't know.
combination?
I think it's just a combination.
You see, I mean, a lot of kids can't handle the pressure. I'm curious to see how T. Higgins will do. He interviews well. He does the right things on the field. He seems like a really good kid. We'll see when he gets a little freedom over there on UT campus. We'll see how he really is. But he seems to be family oriented.
Right.
I've seen a lot of pictures on Facebook and other places where kids go out on the field and he'll pose with them. I mean, he doesn't seem to have that attitude of, hey, I'm better than these guys.
Right.
We'll see how it turns out.
Well, yeah. And speaking of bust, how many times have you seen a college player win the Heisman and go to the NFL and bust? I mean, there's been quite a few here recently.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the names, recent names.
Well, while we think about it, let me Google it.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
I guess I can.
Well, in the meantime, while you're looking that up, I think Coach Jones did a great job picking up Larry Scott from Miami
Yes, sir.
as the tight ends coach. To me, I mean, that guy was the interim head coach at the Miami Hurricanes. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Not so long ago, Miami was the school. I mean, in the '80s, they were tough to beat, and I know the '80s is a long time ago, folks. I'm showing my age, I guess, but they've been relevant a lot throughout the years, and for him to be able to step in and run that team and go 4-5 in the last 5 games of the season. Of course, the competition wasn't terribly tough, and they've got some great athletes. But I think when you've got a guy that's that capable and that knowledgeable, and you bring him in as a tight ends coach at UT, he's going to have a lot of knowledge, and he's got a lot of great connections in Florida.
Right.
And there's a lot. It's a hotbed for athletes, so recruiting wise, it could be a great fit.
And he's got what it takes to get those kids' attentions in South Florida.
Right, absolutely. He knows how to talk the talk and get their attention and get them to come put on some orange.
Ty Detmer won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Have you heard about him in the NFL? This was in 1990, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't tell you what he did exactly.
Did he go to Detroit maybe or somewhere, something like that? I want to say he went to one of the teams that never wins.
Gino Torretta won the Heisman. You never heard nothing
He
from
played a
him.
little bit for the Jets, I think, didn't he?
That's Vinny Testaverde.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that. I was thinking.
Vinny Testaverde won the Heisman. Charlie Ward. Everybody knows Charlie Ward. He won it in 1993. He was a Florida State quarterback.
Yeah.
He did nothing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Danny Warfel played a little bit in the NFL, never did amount to anything. Ricky Williams played a little bit in the NFL, got in trouble with drugs, finally retired.
Right.
Chris Winkie,
Florida State again, I believe.
Florida State again, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't recall him playing for the pros. I'm sure he has, but he certainly didn't make much of a splash. I saw Ron Dane on there.
Yes,
Did he?
played for the Giants.
How long?
He had a pretty
Pretty good run?
yeah, he's a pretty good running back.
No, I knew that. I just meant he had a pretty good run in the pros. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Eric Crouch, Nebraska quarterback in 2001.
No clue.
Yeah. Matt Leinart, USC. Didn't amount to anything in the NFL. Reggie Bush, of course, he's doing pretty well.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, Tim Tebow.
You're right. I mean, that's when you look at this list of players, you would really think that they would have more of an impact in the
Sure.
NFL.
Absolutely.
And of course, some of them have. You know, I think was it Charles Woodson that beat Manning out?
Yes.
He's had a great NFL career.
He's finally retired.
Did he retire? I thought he played
Sunday
this
was
year.
his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sunday was his last game, so he's retired. But
yeah, he was waiting. He finally got some interceptions from Peyton Manning. He picked off 2 this year after not picking him off his entire NFL career. He never had an interception off Manning. And he
really,
he
got 2 this year.
So I guess he's hanging it up.
Wow, I guess so. And also, of course, we got the NFL playoffs. Before we get to the NFL playoffs, we're going to talk a little bit about Campbell County High School basketball because the boys had a 19-point lead at halftime. The Campbell County boys had a 19-point lead at halftime. They won by a score of 44-39. So Anderson County made a run at them. And of course, I don't know if you know this, but there is not one senior, to my knowledge, on the Campbell County High School basketball squad.
I did not know that.
Not one senior.
Wow.
And I think they're somewhere in the neighborhood of probably, I don't know, I think they're probably 9-7 or 10-7, something like that. I don't know the records right now, but I'll have that.
Yeah, maybe somebody could call in if they know.
Absolutely. I'll have that by next Tuesday. Also, the girls beat Anderson County by a score of 60-28. Those girls,
They laid the smackdown.
I think the girls have only lost 1 or 2 games all year. So they are playing extremely well. The girls are.
That's what I like to hear. Is this the first time this season that they played Anderson County twice, correct? Home and away. Is this the first time they've played them this year?
What's that?
Anderson County? Is that the first time they've played them this year? They
I
usually
think
play
so.
home and away, right?
Yeah, I think so. The girls are 14-3, the boys are 10-7. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that, Mr. Housley. Charlie Ward, he also said was a dual athlete. He played for the New York Knicks, and I forgot about that. But he won the Heisman in football.
I had no idea they played
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah, he did play basketball. I forgot all about that. See, I mean, it's...
But again, it's still, I mean, it doesn't transfer. You know, you would expect if they're the best college football player that year, you would expect him to be a good NFL football player.
Well, sure. And maybe he took his talents to the NBA and said, hey, I don't want to get my head beat in, because he was an undersized quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
He was
I-
electric to watch him in college.
Oh, yeah.
He was definitely fun to watch.
Absolutely. Also, we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs, like we said, Alabama and Clemson. And of course, there's a controversy brewing already over Clemson, Alabama, because Clemson only gets 20 hours to practice to get ready for the bowl game. Alabama can practice unlimited,
Why?
because Alabama's spring semester doesn't start till the 13th of January, which is 2 days after the bowl game. Clemson's starts tomorrow.
Wow.
Which
So they go
means-
back to the school schedule.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's a huge difference.
Well,
Now,
that's their fault. You know, I mean, that's something
they should have moved it.
Well, yeah, and they probably never expected to
Alabama
be
probably
in the,
did.
Yeah, well, Alabama probably expects to be in the championship game every year. They know, you know, they planned this out. Again, Nick Saban, he knows what he's doing.
Well, sure he does. But with that being said, there's controversy brewing already over that. And if you're wondering, last year, Ohio State had more practice time than Oregon. Oregon had started their spring semester before the championship game, and therefore they was limited to 20 hours as well. And of course, Mark Helfrich said, he's the head coach of Oregon, he said he was not going to make a big to-do about it. So, but the bottom line is, I personally do not think that it's right. I think that both teams should have to abide during the NCAA, that they should both abide by the same rules.
I agree. I agree. That should be rules for every team should have the exact same opportunity to practice the same amount of time. And of course, in a situation like this, if the school has their schedule and they're not going to change that, then at least make an exception under the circumstances.
Sure.
You know, make an exception for the team. It's the championship game. That's a lot of money, a lot of recognition for Clemson if they can pull off a win. I would think they should get the same amount of time.
Right, I agree. But I'll give you my pick by the time the show's over.
So the pick's coming. Were we talking score and all, or are we talking just a win-loss? Because I'd like a score. I mean,
I'm gonna try to give you a score.
Okay.
I'll try to give you a good one. I'll try to get as close as I possibly can, because I'm thinking I'm gonna raise your eyebrows with my pick.
you might. I mean, I've got a pretty solid thought myself on the matter. We'll see where we stand
Yeah.
before the show's over.
It's going to be tough. We're also going to talk about the Rams, also the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns is going to hire a coach and a general manager, and then they're going to pick out. Who's going to be. They're going to hire the other guy, whatever the other guy is. You know, I think it's a general manager. They're going to hire a general manager. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Jimmy Haslam, certainly, he might know oil, but he doesn't know football. And I think that the general manager needs to be hired, and the personnel that's over operations, I forget the name of that guy.
So basically, they're putting the cart before the horse. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they're gonna hire a coach, and that coach is gonna help try to hire a GM.
Well, that makes
Shouldn't
sense.
that be the other way around?
Yeah, one would think so. I don't know. Maybe he's trying something new. Nothing else has worked. You know.
Well, I tell you, it's crazy.
With the kind of money he's got
I'm a
to go
Browns
around,
fan for
surely he
crying
can
out
find somebody. You know.
Well, I would think so. I mean, as many guys has gotten fired, and as many assistant offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators that's out there that's good, surely to goodness he can get somebody that's got some kind of NFL experience that can come in there. I didn't even know who Mike Pettine was when the Browns hired him. I didn't have a clue who that guy
I
was.
still don't.
Well, he's the head coach. He was the head coach. He was there for 2 years. And Rex Ryan And the general manager there at that Buffalo Bills camp said if they don't make the playoffs, the owner said if they don't make the playoffs in 2016, they're both fired.
Well,
How tough would that be going into a season? I'll ask you this question. I'll let you talk about it, and then we'll go to break.
okay.
But if I was the owner and you was a head coach and a general manager was sitting here, and I asked you a question, or I told you, you know what? Here's the situation. If you don't make playoffs this year coming up, you're fired. What kind of pressure is that?
That's a lot, but I think they're getting paid a lot of money, and the expectation should be high.
That they should deliver, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Miss Mary, you need to call back, honey. We're fixing to go to break. So, with that being said, folks, you're listening to Just Sports.
WLF Sports Network.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Birch Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Birch is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Folks, this is Robert again from your Sears hometown store. If you're having trouble tossing and turning in bed, or having a backache, or your partner wakes you up when they come to bed, we can solve your problem with our Sealy Posturepedic mattresses or other name brand mattresses at your Sears hometown store. So come on down to your Sears hometown store and get some rest for your eyeballs with one of our Sealy or other fine mattresses.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joey Horton out the world famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see us.
First dates, fun with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands. Because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Listen up.
Hello, welcome back to the Tuesday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with Brent Allen. We certainly appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to join us here on WLAF Channel 12. Also, I think our producer's telling us that we are on the web as well. Are we on the web as well?
Yep.
Oh, yes, we're on the web as well.
Worldwide, baby.
Worldwide. So, with that being said, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got some
Yeah,
scores.
we've jumped around a lot,
We have.
but we've covered a lot. So.
But one topic has led to the other, and here's a topic that I would love to talk about, because we went off the air back in August for some time. Let me take this call. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You are on the air.
Good to see you fellas back together.
It's good to hear
I
you.
know. I tell you, it's fantastic. I mean, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
I enjoy you calling a ball game too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, tell me what you thought about Tennessee in the Outback Bowl. I just forgot about you being on. I just turned you on a few minutes ago. What did you think about that game?
Well, I'll give you my insight on it. I was a lot like Brent. I was a little nervous at first when we was punting the ball back and forth a couple of different times. But then when Tennessee settled down and they started running the ball and passing the ball and really pounding the rock, and they got up a couple scores, I just knew that Northwestern didn't have anything for Tennessee in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely loved it. I've always, anytime I'm watching Tennessee, as far as I'm concerned, if it can be 100-0, I'm happy. I don't want a close game. I like to watch a good close ball game, but not when it's Tennessee. I want them to win big.
Yeah, you and me too.
All right.
Then they took them out back and gave them a good Rocky Top whooping, didn't they?
Yes.
That should have been the headline on the Knoxville News Center.
Oh, I know.
That would have been a good one.
Balls take Northwestern out back.
Yep, spank them Tennessee style or something. I don't know.
Spank
Have
them.
a good one.
Thank you. Let's see, where was I at?
We were talking about the Cleveland before we went to break.
Yes, this is what I was going to say. Before I get any further, I gotta write this down. Because if I don't, I'm gonna
I
forget.
understand.
I'm gonna forget. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air? Hey, how are you?
Had a good Christmas and a good New Year's.
I did. How about you?
Yeah. On New Year's Eve, we did my sisters.
You what?
We did my sisters on New Year's Eve. Well, we had the New Year's party down there.
Oh yeah? You didn't get drunk, did you?
Maybe it is, but that's good that we're just a tiny bit.
Maybe just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever such a thing, Miss Kay.
Children's friend just saw me.
Yeah, I did. I saw her at Walmart.
You did?
Yeah. It was probably what, 3 weeks ago?
Yep. Before Christmas time.
Yep, it was right before Christmas. And she asked me why wasn't I on, and I said, I don't have anybody else. I don't have anybody to go on with. And
Well.
I finally talked to my old buddy over here, and he was looking forward to getting back on the air, and as I was as well. And you know, we probably did a little bit of injustice to the Campbell County Cougar basketball team and the football team because I wasn't on and giving them props and giving them some airtime like we did in the past.
Right.
So, you know, we hopefully will be on every Tuesday. We're not doing Thursdays yet. We're just going to do Tuesdays for quite some time. We'll see how it goes from there.
You know how many dogs I got now?
What?
I got 3 dogs now.
Oh, Lord.
I got 3 kids now. I'm gonna go find 3 dogs.
I got 2. I got 2 dogs and 1 cat.
I got 3 dogs and no cats.
Yeah, well, my wife wanted a cat, so we had to get a cat. My son went.
I got one is baby, one is cuz, one is pork chop.
Pork chop, that's my son's nickname. It is, I kid you not. But anyway, we're going to talk about the Campbell County Cougars. Did you get to listen to the ball games at all, Kay?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you better. You better.
I do. I always do.
All right.
Sometimes my husband's at home and he won't remember to listen to it and stuff, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
Don't want to cause a fight.
yeah. Do what, Miss Kay?
I had to go with them with something and go there now, I'm going through that now, and I go with them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but
Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do what we always do before we hang up. Who's your favorite team?
go Cougars.
We'll see you Tuesday.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
I want to talk about the Campbell County Cougar football team.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
We didn't get to talk about them a lot. I mean, we covered the games and we talked about them from week to week.
Yeah, during game time.
During game time, they went 5-6, but they didn't start out too well.
Right.
And they lost to Gibbs. They lost 2 games in a row at the first, if I'm not mistaken. They went 0-2. Is that right? I think so.
I believe that's correct. I can't remember at this point. We probably should have had it pulled up, and somebody I'm sure can help us out. It's been some time.
Dwayne Baird.
Yeah.
Dwayne Baird can probably share some
absolutely.
information on that.
You know, I think that the early injury to Rutherford had a lot to do with kind of shaking things up and having to put Josh Lay in there and find what he does best. Probably took a little longer than the coaches wanted to. Of course, you don't expect your starting quarterback to go down that early,
Right.
especially with that serious of an injury. It was great to see him back at the end of the year and able to be out there doing his thing.
Yeah, they went 5-6, and of course the 6th loss came to White County, which not White County, Ray County.
Ray County, yeah.
I'm sorry, Ray County. And didn't Ray County finish runner-up?
I believe they did.
State runner-up?
I think they did. Yeah, they
If
were
I'm
in
not
the
mistaken.
championship game.
I'm trying to find. Here we go. Schedule. Yes, they lost the first 2 games. They lost to Gibbs 12-7. They lost to Knox Central 28-0. And you know what? the 28-0 wasn't as bad as the score sounds.
Right.
I mean, it really wasn't. And don't worry, we're going to make sure we give the Campbell County basketball some love too, because I've got to start going to the games and get in tune with the coaches and get some information from the coaches and watch these kids. But we see the football team every week.
Right.
But we had a lot of. We didn't lose a lot of seniors.
No,
That
no,
play.
we didn't. No, we didn't. I mean, there was a couple, and they were, I think Peyton Webb.
Yes, Peyton Webb.
That he's going to be a big loss. Austin Raines, and I certainly don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to try to remember every one of them's names. But there wasn't that many, and a lot of the skill got a lot of the players. Period. The team's coming back, and I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be a lot stronger than they were last year. Now, I'm not talking about physically stronger necessarily. That you'd have to ask the coaches about all that. I just mean as a team, they've all got the system down. They know what they're doing, and barring any major injuries, they're going to be tough this year.
Well, first and foremost, you're going to put Josh Lay in a position to where he's either going to be a wideout or he's going to be a running back.
Yeah,
as long as Rutherford is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, one would think so. And I don't know what Coach Price has up his sleeve. I don't know if we've got a pure running back coming back. At least one that could outplay Josh Lay at that position. As long as we do, if we've got somebody strong coming back, and again, if parents, if your son,
Jacob Bunch.
yeah, absolutely, Jacob Bunch has done a good job.
He spent some time being off
Yeah, he
because
was
of his
injured.
ankle. But I think if he's healthy, I think that's one of your running backs.
Sure, and that's certainly an option, and I'm sure that Coach Price will figure out where best to play Josh Lay. Where is he the most dangerous? I personally like the running back position because of the options that it gives. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, and he can still go out for passes from the running back position. So I like that idea, but again, I'm sure that Coach Price has a way to figure out where to get him.
I was thinking about this the other day, and somebody can please feel free to call in, send me a text, whatever the case may be. But have you took notice or wondered what kind of game plan that Coach Price and the Price and Price twins put together? I mean, let's face it. I mean, think about this. It just goes to show you how shallow I am when it comes to looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think to myself, Campbell County Cougars run the same plays every week. They get good results. This past year, they got some good results, they got some bad results. I don't think it had anything to do with the game plan or the play calling. I think it had everything to do with the fact of maybe having some kids that was injured, Jacob Bunch, Zach Rutherford, just to name a couple. There was a couple other ones that went out with concussions that was out for most of the year.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah, and honestly, there was a lot of drop passes this year. Something that we hadn't seen in the past couple of years. And I don't know what the reason is, and this is not a knock on Coach
James.
He's teaching them the same thing that the other kids were being taught.
Right.
And it's not a knock on the kids. It's just what happened. It's just the truth. There was a lot of drop passes that could really change the outcome of all these games.
Well, sure.
I mean, when you're going 3 and out because of 2 drop passes, for instance, in a series, what does that do to their mentality? What does it do to their confidence? I mean, how does it affect the game throughout the rest of the game?
Well, I mean, that's like the Farragut game. We got beat 31-0 by Farragut, but we had more yards
Yeah, absolutely.
than Farragut.
We had such a hard time getting the ball into the end zone. And not only that game, but several other games. It's like we were great between the 20s, but from the 20 to the end or to the goal, just couldn't seem to get it in. The big boy package they call it, or we call it that. I'm not sure if the coaches call it that.
Yeah.
But it just didn't seem to work as well either. I mean, there was just something wasn't quite working the way it had in the past. A few little things, and like you said, the scheme works. We've seen it work.
Sure.
I mean, and when you said that just then about the fact that they run the same plays every week, it really was kind of profound because I hadn't thought about that. And you think of an opposing coach thinking, well, this is pretty easy. We know what they're going to do. You know, I mean, to an extent, you don't know exactly what they're going to do, but you've got a pretty good idea of what they're going to do, and they still haven't been able to stop it. You know, again, this past year, there was a lot of hiccups with some just unusual things. Like I said, the drop passes really seemed to be something that was an issue. But overall, I think that it seems like it would be a relatively easy offense to deal with, but clearly it's not. You know, just from the outside looking in.
Exactly. And I agree with what you're saying. From the outside looking in, it looks like that you can defend this spread offense, whatever they want to call it. But it comes down to each individual player doing their job.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think and again, this is kind of just coming to me as we're speaking about it. I hadn't really thought about this, but by having that many receivers out there, that many athletes on the field, you're likely to expose. It's not likely that the defense has that many good athletes on the opposing team.
Right.
So what you're doing is, if you're taking a team that's used to playing other teams that run the ball a lot, they're big, powerful kids, but they're not that fleet of foot, they're not that quick, and then you line them up against Campbell County, then suddenly there's a mismatch somewhere. Somebody's not going to be able to handle the speed and quickness of the receivers. And the more I think about it, the more I think that's a great way to go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to check out the roster for Campbell County basketball. It looks like, and I hope this is the right roster. Evan Jackson, Landon Reese, John Porter, Dylan Burge, Jacob Walden, Tim Zapanic, Elijah Phillips, Logan Berry. Of course, Logan Berry broke his leg. Jacob McGuire, Jared Bain, Jared Ray, Lucas Wilhoit, Kobe Bailey, Carter Wells, Nick Lees, and then he's got Bryce Duncan and Tanner Davis also on the roster. They're 10-7, and we're talking about basketball now. I wanted to jump over real quick. We got about 15 minutes left, but they're 10-7. And if you would have told me that you had this many young kids on the team, like I said, there's no seniors on this team. I don't know how many juniors is on here, but there's quite a few sophomores and quite a few freshmen. But I guess my point being is, if you'd have told me there was 10-7, I would have said Coach Housley's doing a great job coaching.
Absolutely.
In the district that we play in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you can look at any team in any sport. I mean, you've got a senior heavy team, you're going to be competitive.
Right.
When you've got a senior light team or a no senior team, being even in the running or even a 500 win-loss record is a great accomplishment, because you don't have somebody that's been there for 4 years and running the system for 4 years and beating and banging down low and doing all the things that it takes time to get used to. Their bodies have to get used to it. So that's impressive in my opinion.
Let's see here. They play Anderson County. Their next game is going to be at Gibbs on the 8th of January. I'm hoping that this information, folks, that I'm giving you is correct. And then they play at Oak Ridge on the 12th. So the next home game that they're going to have, goodness gracious, I don't know when the next home game they're going to have, just to be perfectly honest with you. It looks like all of them's away.
Wow.
I don't know. I'll get some information from Coach Housley, find out for sure where it's going to be at, what games is going to be where. Like Carnes, the next game is going to be the 15th of January against Carnes at Campbell County High School. I'm definitely going to go watch that game. The other two games I won't be able to. They'll be at Gibbs and Oak Ridge. I may be able to hit Oak Ridge on the 12th, which is what, next
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah. Because the Alabama and Clemson is going to be on the 11th. Don't let me forget that. But anyway,
What time? Is it prime time?
8:30.
Okay.
Yeah, it's prime time.
That's good.
And I'm going to have to make sure that I get a good night's sleep Sunday night.
Yeah. Past your bedtime?
Yeah.
Hey man, it's almost 10 o'clock. You can sure make it for a big game like that.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I would definitely do that. It will probably last until about 10 or about 10:30.
Yeah, I'd say.
10:30, 11 o'clock.
And probably
Somewhere in
be
that-
past 11, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. But anyway, hats off to Coach Housley and those fine coaches and players at Campbell County High School. Also, Coach Honeycutt for the girls. And I'll get those guys information and we'll talk more.
Yeah, that's information we're going to have to get on to be able to
Talk
speak
intelligently
exactly and
about it.
have an idea of what's going on. That's the key, and it sounds like the girls are doing a great job.
Oh yeah, the girls are fantastic. Coach Honeycutt's doing a great job. But let me just say this, in defense to Coach Housley, if Coach Housley had as much talent, and I'm not taking anything away from these
Right.
boys,
As much experience. How about that?
yeah, experience, that's better. As those girls do, it will be a different story for the boys as well. But those girls has got a little bit more experience. This is Coach Honeycutt's second year. He's doing a great job with them. They've worked hard. The boys has worked hard, but they just play in a tough district. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we don't have in defense to the boys, we don't have the height like the other guys has got
Right.
in some of the teams. So, with that being said,
That's something that I don't understand. I see kids walking around that, they're towering,
Right.
great big tall kids,
They
but they
don't
don't play
play.
basketball. I don't understand that, I
they're
guess.
lazy.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. I think that, like everything else we've talked about in sports, especially in Campbell County, ever since Coach Price came around, it seems like the younger players are starting to fill in more at not just football. I mean, I'm talking basketball, baseball,
Right.
Football, soccer. They all seem to be getting more sports minded because it feels good to win. When you've got a strong football team, a basketball team, it feels good. It's easier to have more pride in your school, and you want to be a part of that.
Sure.
So it's all part of the atmosphere, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. All right, Alabama and Clemson, folks, Monday night. And of course, we said we was going to talk about the NFL playoffs too. We'll try our best, but we can't promise you. We've been like we've
All over the map.
dabbled. We've
Yeah.
dabbled here and there. Brent's got some stuff written down that he hasn't had a chance to go over yet, and I hope he doesn't stop writing stuff down because he didn't get the chance to go over it. We can always go over it next Tuesday as well.
That's right.
But Saturday, Kansas City, Pittsburgh in the NFL, and Houston and Cincinnati. Who do you like between Kansas City and Pittsburgh?
Kansas City.
I do as well.
Pittsburgh seems to be just falling apart. I'm not sure what's going on. Their defense is nothing like it used to be.
Well, here's the thing, though. If I'm not mistaken, let me see something. If I'm not mistaken, I think that they're playing it's going to be Kansas City at Houston and
Oh.
Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
I've got this messed up.
Well, I still like Kansas City over Houston.
Yeah, they're going to be
Um,
playing at Houston.
As far as Cincinnati and Pittsburgh,
They're going to be playing at Cincinnati.
I'd have to go Cincinnati on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got to go with Pittsburgh as bad as I hate to, simply because of the fact of,
You hate Pittsburgh?
yeah, I can't stand Pittsburgh. I mean, I can't say the word hate,
Right, I know.
but I disliked him.
Right, strongly dislike.
Oh, very. But I don't think A.J. McCarron has got what it takes to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers because Andy Dalton's going to be out. His thumb's not healed. He's got a broken right thumb.
I was thinking that he would be back.
Well, they sent out a tweet today that
he's
it
not.
was going to be A.J. McCarron. He's just going to be starting against Pittsburgh.
Well, that changes my opinion a little, I have to say.
Yeah. Also, we've got Seattle and Minnesota on Sunday. They're playing at Minnesota, and I hope it's snowing, and I hope it's 20 below.
Yeah, I like
And then-
Minnesota in that one.
Yeah, I do as well. Of course, Seattle is probably right now is playing the best football out of any team outside of the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. And of course, Kansas City have won 10 straight. Also, Green Bay and Washington. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that Washington was going to win the East,
Wow.
I would have told you it was going to be a pathetic conference.
Yeah.
And
I
it
agree.
was.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Green Bay travels to Washington. I'm going to go with Washington simply because I would like to see Green Bay get beat. There's nobody I dislike more than Pittsburgh than Green Bay Packers.
So Green Bay beats Pittsburgh in
No.
your dislike, or Pittsburgh just barely passes Green Bay?
No, I dislike Green Bay more than I do Pittsburgh.
Do you have a reason, or is it just
Yeah,
the colors?
Clay
or-
Matthews.
You don't like him?
No. Do you?
Is it the hair?
Oh, it's his attitude. It's his whole attitude, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but I like Aaron Rodgers a lot.
Aaron Rodgers has surprised me, and has surprised me each and every year.
He doesn't get as much recognition, and don't get me wrong, he's well recognized, and he does get a lot of accolades, but he doesn't have the, I guess, the commercial appeal or whatever. You see some of these commercials he does a great job in them, and he's done so well for so long. You'd think that he'd get more mentions when we're talking about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and the like.
I just got a text. If the girls win Friday, if Campbell County girls win Friday, they will go into Oak Ridge and play Oak Ridge. Both teams, Oak Ridge and Campbell County, being undefeated in district play.
Wow,
That's
that would be big.
That's going to be huge. And I hope the Campbell County wins. I really do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm going to pick. I don't like Kansas City, so I'm going to pick Houston. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh. I'm going to pick Minnesota, and I'm going to pick Washington. That's what I'm going to pick for Saturday and Sunday games.
That's interesting.
Yes, it is. Now, Clemson and Alabama. Deshaun Watson. Alabama. They do not play well against a dual threat quarterback.
This is true. They haven't played well.
Look at Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel is an absolute 100% an American wreck. And he beat Alabama twice.
Yeah, I agree. But I tell you what, and I see where you're going with this. I got to tell you though, they're going to be ready for Clemson. They're going to be ready for a dual threat quarterback. They're going to have a spy. Their best athlete is going to be spying on him the entire time. He is not going to have the big game that everybody expects. He's not going to be as big of an influence, I don't think, that as a lot of people expect.
Really?
Yeah, I really think so. I think that.
Wow.
I mean, they know what's happening. They know what's coming. And
Sure.
in the past, or all these other teams that play Alabama, they see what's coming. They know what's coming. And they just can't stop it. I think Alabama will be able to stop it. Their defense, their front seven, is going to wreak havoc. They're going to be all in the backfield. They're going to really chase Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, ain't that his last name?
Yeah,
Watson?
it sounded like Waters for some reason. I was thinking. Anyway, they're going to chase that quarterback around to no end, and he'll pick up a couple big plays, but I don't think he's going to be the game difference, and I don't think they're going to win.
Well, I think Clemson will beat Alabama, and I really believe they'll beat them like a drum.
Really?
Yes, sir. I think they'll beat them. I think they beat them by at least probably 3 touchdowns.
So they're going to beat them like Alabama beat Michigan State.
Yes.
Just thump them.
Yes. Absolutely.
I disagree.
Well, and you know what? We'll find out Monday night, and then we'll find out
What's the line in Vegas? Do you know?
I don't have a clue.
I'm pretty sure that Alabama's picked to
favored.
win.
I think Alabama's favored probably about 8 points. The last I heard the line, now that you mentioned that, 7 or 8 points, and that may be even larger by the time it gets here Monday. I don't know.
I don't put a lot of stock into those guys, but I will say that they're generally pretty close.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always the unusual situation, and that has nothing to do with my pick. I just think that Alabama is still a premier team. Yeah, maybe they're not exactly what they have been. Quarterback's come along, and he's really turned into something special. I mean, for Alabama, don't get me wrong, I don't see him playing on Sundays, or I don't see him playing, or if he does, it won't be a lot.
Right.
Derrick Henry's the real deal, no doubt in my mind. He's going to be a monster in the NFL as well. But I think overall, just all those stars by our names are going to shine against Clemson.
Well, you got one thing that's right, and that is Nick Saban will have them ready to play. I worry about the offense. I don't worry about the defense as much as I worry about the offense. I don't think that quarterback for Alabama, and his name escapes me right now,
Coker.
Yes.
Jake Coker?
Yes. I don't think that he is good enough to beat Clemson. And I think if Clemson loads the box with 8 guys and puts one-on-one pressure on the outside on those wide receivers, hey, Ridley's a great receiver for Alabama. I get that. But I think when they put one-on-one pressure out there and they put 8 guys in the box, 7 or 8 guys in the box to stop Henry, I don't think Coker's going to be good enough to beat the Clemson Tigers. That's if I
You
was
may be right, but I'll tell you this: I don't think that Coker has to be. I don't think they can stop Derrick Henry. They can load the box all they want. He's going to get 2, 3, 4 yards a pop, no matter what they do.
Well,
and yeah, they'll stop him in the backfield a couple of times, but he'll make up for it. And overall, he's going to wear him down. That front line's going to wear him down. I think they just pound Henry and get a good lead and sit on it, and that's how it's going to end up.
And you may be right. I may be way off base, but when I watched those 2 games, especially when Alabama struggled with Michigan State in the first half, I think they only put up 17 points on them in the first half, 17-3 or something like that. Alabama didn't.
It was 38-0. So
Not at halftime.
no, that's what I'm saying. So it couldn't have been 17-3
It was 17. Well,
17-0 at halftime.
yeah, 17
So
at the halftime.
right.
And then they come out the second half, and maybe the coaches made some adjustments. I don't know. But Alabama come out the second half, and the second half they thumped them.
We didn't get to talk about the TCU game.
Oh yeah, I know the TCU and the Oregon game.
But all
No,
kinds of stuff.
TCU and who?
Yeah, TCU and Oregon. It was 31-0. Oregon was up 31-0.
Yes.
Absolutely having their way with TCU.
Yeah.
I turned off the TV, and I usually like those kind of blowouts, but I just thought this was going to be ridiculous. Turned it off. Went to work the next day, and they were talking about TCU beating Oregon.
Yes.
What? It was 31-0 Oregon. 47-41 final. I think it was 3 overtimes, but they
Yep.
came back and did it. That's huge. That's the record for the biggest comeback win in bowl history.
I didn't watch the first half. I was skimming. You know what I mean?
Oh,
by
yeah.
Skimming. I was skimming between channels, and I would flip over there every now and then, and I would see Oregon just absolutely thumping TCU, and I thought, wow, Boykin really messed up. Trayvon Boykin.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I watched the other game and I watched something else, my wife fell asleep. I flipped it back over on the TCU game
To see how bad Oregon
to
was
see
going.
how it was. And next thing I know, it was 31-20, and then 31 to here, 28, and then they went for kick the extra point. I mean, kick the field goal or whatever the case may be. And the next thing you know, boy, it was an overtime.
Yeah.
And TCU, I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah, that was a great speech at halftime. Something I can take about what he said.
he
But
changed his shirt.
yeah, that's right. I heard that. That's an impressive one. Next Tuesday we'll be able to talk more about some of the local stuff, like maybe, and plus Tennessee basketball, the
Yes.
men's and the ladies. Men's not doing that great. They need some big guys. Ladies are looking pretty good, not as good as they have been. Don't think Coach Warlick is up to par.
I don't think she's the answer.
No, I don't either. We'll talk about La Follette Middle School's football season last year. Kind of wrapped that up. Jacksboro Middle School's football season. We've got baseball coming up, middle school baseball, high school baseball. A lot of stuff to talk about coming up, and hopefully we'll have a little more information and not
Be flying by the seat of our britches.
Exactly.
But anyway, we will have more information for you folks Tuesday and every Tuesday that comes along. We want to be educated when we talk about this stuff and bring you all the information the best we possibly can.
That's right.
So with that being said, for our executive producer, which is right through that window jumping up and down because we went past 10 o'clock, her name is Miss Honeybee. My name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless and go Cougars.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Bird Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Bird's is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Hello folks, this is Robert again from your Sears hometown store. If you're having trouble tossing and turning in bed or having a backache or your partner wakes you up when they come to bed, we can solve your problem with our Sealy Posturepedic mattresses or other name brand mattresses at your Sears hometown store. So come on down to your Sears hometown store and get some rest for your eyeballs with one of our Sealy or other fine mattresses.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joey Horton out the world famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see it.
First dates, fun with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands. Because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Even if I've got 3 strikes,
Riding motorcycles and being out on the open road with my buddies is something I love doing. When you're in pain, it's not as much fun. But that all changed after my knee replacement at Genova. The care there was great. They had me up out of bed the next day. Having the knee replaced and having the pain gone is a new lease on life. If you're in pain, there is an answer out there.
For more of Rick's story or to find an orthopedic specialist, visit Tonova.com.
They're rolling out on their way to serve the community in which they live and work. Although Holston Gases has locations all over the Southeast, they still are locally operated by local people. Sales and service, commercial, residential, propane and medical specialty gases, lift truck fuel and installation, bulk delivery, bottle filling, fuel line and industrial supplies. Whatever the need, we stand ready to serve you. We're located at 121 School Street in Jacksboro. Call on us today at 423-562-7596.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Birch Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Birch is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
A lot of folks at work today. Thank you for inviting us into your places of work and your homes as we bring you Campbell County basketball here over the WLAF B&M Tire Sports Network.